What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View here on a Monday, and a little early, as it has been 4th of July weekend. We are back here on a Monday after quite a long weekend here, I'm sure, for everyone, and we hope everyone out there had a great weekend. Great 4th of July, whether you're celebrating big or small. We hope you all had a great Sunday, and we are back, and we obviously, you obviously know why we all are here. We have the chairman himself on with us. Kristian Harloff will be joining us here very, very shortly. Before we get to him, crew, how's everybody doing? It's a nice long weekend. I don't know what everybody did. We didn't talk much over the weekend, but I imagine that means it was a good weekend.
Yeah, it's a busy
yes,
weekend.
Very quiet weekend for us in the text thread.
I think we're all pretty busy this weekend. It's Sean's birthday's on Friday. So on Saturday I took him to the Getty Villa and I took him out for like a little birthday thing, and then 4th of July, and then we bought all of our furniture for our new place. So that was exciting. So I know, adulting. Nice. So we got all that done, which was sweet. So now I'm in panic mode because I need to start like getting rid of stuff.
At least you are moving with a place picked.
Yes.
I'm like,
the lease has been
right.
signed. They have my insurance. It's all. I just need to hand him a check. We're good.
Molly, I saw that Hilo basically obliterated a Grogu.
Oh, I saw that too. R.I.P.
Yeah, it was a little plushy Grogu. Luckily, I have another one. I have a backup.
R.I.P. Grogu.
But yeah, he got a hold of one of them and just shredded it. But I made sure to embarrass him on the internet and take an Instagram story of it.
Hashtag dog shaming.
Yeah.
Also, was that at like 5 a.m. or something?
It was.
Jesus.
We were out pretty late Friday and Saturday.
Oh my God.
Well, sounds like a good weekend then. Up late.
Yeah. It was funny because like on the actual 4th, we didn't really do anything. We grilled hot dogs, but it was just the two of us.
Ugh, yum.
Wow.
I mean, that's the way to do the 4th. Clearly.
Yum.
I agree.
Hot dogs, delicious. Jake knows my love for hot dogs.
Oh,
Ew.
hot dogs on the 4th of July, nothing better, man.
Yeah, it's got to be dogs and burgers, right? Like that's kind of like a go-to.
Yeah.
I
I did make mac and cheese though. I made homemade mac and cheese.
Love them.
I had a nice homemade burger on the 4th. It was really good, really, really good. So
I did good.
How? You weren't at home.
You don't have to cook them from home for them to be homemade. They were homemade.
You have
still.
to be in your house.
I have to be within the corners of my doors to make sure they are homemade. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So before we get going, we want to make sure that everyone knows that if you guys have questions regarding Schmoedown, anything Schmoedown, that Mr. Harloff can't answer, or say no comment to, I don't know. You can hit the Streamlabs link. It is posted. It is the highlighted comment there in the chat. You can see it above us right here. It's also in the description. So if you guys have any questions, you can queue those up. We'll be getting to as many as we possibly can. If there is an influx, we'll do a rapid fire towards the end, as we do have some queued up. And of course, we have questions ourselves. So with that said,
send in super chats.
Super chats.
Or super chats. Excuse me. I keep forgetting that that's something
It
that
pays to have a subscriber number.
Yeah.
It does.
So you can definitely do those, and we will make sure to get to all of those as much as we possibly can. But with that said, let's go and bring him on so we can spend as much time as we can with him. He is the chairman. He is the creator. He is Mr. Kristian Harloff.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I wore something old school for you guys, and by old school, it is something I found randomly when I was finally cleaning out my closets.
Oh my God.
That is old school. How about that?
I found that and I was like, it's a comfortable shirt. I was like, and now you can, and a lot of these team shirts I can't wear because it looks like bias. You know, they're so great, a lot of them. But if I like start wearing a corruption shirt around town, people are gonna be like, "Did you join corruption?" So anyway, I found this and I was like, this is great. I got to support this one.
That's vintage.
Awesome.
Yeah, we should get like vintage Brian Ward like posters and put them on shirts. That would be cool.
It's in the works that we want to do some vintage stuff, but I'm sure we'll get into it. There's a lot of changes and stuff that I want to like implement and also been holding back on because as we'll get into, the digital age was very nice. It was great to and it was a necessity for all of us, but it is worn out its welcome.
According to the internet, you've confirmed you're now the new manager of corruption. Mr.
Yeah. If you weren't paying attention to the storyline.
All right. So before we get to some of the questions we have, I do want to ask off the bat. It's halfway point of season 8.
Yeah.
It is officially in the books. It's been a crazy first half year of this season. What are your feelings on it? Of how it's been going? The pay-per-views, the regular matches, just everything that's happened as far as storylines. How are you feeling about it so far?
Well, I feel that both the crew and the competitors have gone above and beyond to make this the season 7 and 8 as special as they have been. Because take no qualms about what I said before is I am tired of the digital age. I'm over. It was a necessity, and it would not have lasted as long as it has. And it kept the league alive. But it did that because competitors were able to show their love of the game and also what they're able to do in their preparation and everything that they do, their passion for it. And as awkward as it might felt, and sometimes comfortable to be in your own house, it's not the same thing. But yet the competitors have gone above and beyond to make it work. And we've had some incredible matches as far as competition goes. So by that standard, I've loved it. I've loved the competition, because it's shown me how great these competitors really are, the amount of work and effort and time that they put into it. But I want all this other stuff to serve its purpose, and then we get to what the show really is.
That's fair. It looks like we're headed back that way, thankfully. So can't wait to see what happens. Jill, I know you got something that's related to what we are currently talking about.
I do. So yes, let's go back to early 2021. You guys just got an amazing sponsorship with Skybound.
Yeah,
4 times.
You've had these amazing live events. The show is growing. You have these celebrities who are now in the faction roster. The pandemic hits. No more live events. No more studio. What is the first thought that goes into your mind?
This will be over in a couple of months.
I think that was
our thought. I think that was everyone's thought.
Mine was like, we'll still be in Houston. It's fine.
I was like, okay, so it was so many things happened. It seems like another planet, not just another year, but like, so Mark Fernandez, who owned it, was so great with the deal that he gave us, shooting at Collider for the amount of time that we did. He was very generous, and we were able to do that. And we had a shoot planned, as you guys know, and poor James White certainly knows.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Poor guy. He's supposed to play 2 matches in like the same day, and the poor guy, he gets his ticket and everything too. I think he even flies out, and Mark Fernandez called me up and said, "Dude, I gotta pull the shoot because it's starting to get real bad." And I had just done that announcement at Skybound. I was like, okay, we were planning for getting one more shoot in, and that was it. Because like, okay, we get that crop of matches in, and we already have all those matches we filled, and we'll be like in somewhere in I don't know, it was March or April or wherever it might be, and then we'll be fine. We'll be back in studio, and everything will be good. And it doesn't matter what plan we thought we were going to have. Obviously, everybody got turned upside down on their heads, and yeah, so that was my first thought was after, because remember we were going to do a tournament for Inner Geekdom because we were just trying to figure it out. We didn't know how long it was going to last. So we had the Inner Geekdom. It was going to be a tournament that was, I think, 16 people, but it wasn't going to be for any points. And that was because we had never done a tournament before digital.
Yeah.
Now it seems like, oh, this will be for points. So we were just planning on going back in the studio. It's like, okay, so I forget what the prize was going to be, but a lot of the top talent, even Mike Kalinowski was like, I don't know if I want to be in it. If I'm like, I don't know, what do I get out of it? This and that. And the arguments from everybody really made sense. So then we said, well, why don't we start? We're doing this Twitch thing. Let's try to do a Star Wars tournament and see how the competition is, and take it from there. It's like that Star Wars tournament. And Molly, all you guys should be so proud of what you all did, because you set the tone for what the competition would be like in the digital age. Because once everybody saw what Ace was doing, and Laura Kelly and Molly and everybody who was in it, they just said, oh, okay, well, that was pretty exciting. What about Inner Geekdom? And then what about this? And so it just evolved. But I was fine with it. After last season, I was like, we did what we needed to do, and then 2021 is going to start, and then we'll have like maybe a month of digital, and it's just like lagging, but it's those were my initial thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I think that was it'll last like a month, maybe a month and a half. It'll be fine. And then here we are a year and a half later, and we're just getting back into studio. It's crazy, but you and the team at Schmoedown have absolutely freaking killed it with this curveball that no one expected to come. Who's going to plan for something like this? Nobody. Right. So you guys absolutely killed it. And I know we're all very, very excited for studio and live events to be coming back. But I mean, the digital age, there was a moment, I will admit, there was definitely a moment where I said, are we even going to have Schmoedown this year? Like, are we, can we even do it?
A lot of people felt that way. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people felt that way.
Because, I'm a pessimist. And so I was like, how are we going to do this? There's no way. And you guys made it work, and you guys freaking killed it. And while, yes, we're all very excited for studio and live events to be coming back, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better outcome during the pandemic. It's what the Schmoedown did. Yeah,
it certainly served its purpose, and it did it did exactly that. It kept people interested. It kept people, seeing what and again, I'm sure we'll get into it, but like the super heavy sports side of it, because normally the show is supposed to be 50% sports entertainment, 50% sports. That's always the blend. That was the successful thing that I was passionate about, that made me happy, that was able to get my juices flowing for live events and things, and build up matches and get all the classic stuff that we got in the past with, whether it was Anarchy, all that. Like, that wasn't really possible in the digital age as much. You could do, there's only so many StreamYard scenes you can get before you're also realizing, okay, well, that's just two people sitting in front. They're having fun, but it's not like, I'm so happy for what Dennis brought to it with the being able to go on location. But that also, it's not easy to do, because it takes Dennis out for like a full day and almost two. And we're not in studio, and I'm not able to say, oh, there's Dagnino, and then I have that person, we can film this, and we can do it. We can film 7 or 8 scenes in a day, and it's like, oh, and I plot around those. And that's kind of gone in the digital age. So the fact that it is about 80% sports and 20% sports entertainment right now, that has, I think, moved the show along and has fit what it is right now. But yeah, it's just, there'll be changes.
I mean, that's what we should expect when we're going back into live studio. We're going to get, and that exactly what you said, we're going to get those live scenes again that we can't do in digital. Yeah. Oh, I'm so freaking excited. I'm so excited.
I'm excited to film them. It's just that someone was asking me the other day, it's like, everybody's noticed that there's been less scenes. And as I said, there's just so many StreamYard scenes I can do before it's like, okay, and then so-and-so is here, and then, oh, that person pops in. It's like, who's doing the security on these people's computers? And it just keeps happening. It's one thing if, like, oh my gosh, like when Mike Kalinowski showed up in the dungeon, you're like, well, Mike Kalinowski has found his way into every room in this studio one way or another. Has found his room here, there. It makes sense that character could just pop up into the dungeon. Like, who could infiltrate the dungeon? If it was today and it was StreamYard, everybody would be infiltrated. Because there's only one way to do it, unless you can get Dennis on location. But to be able to do it in the studio again and have those moments leading up to the live events and building them out, like that's what is, I think, a lot of people don't see on the other side of it. When I have said, and I've said it on live events, and I'll say it again here, I think the Reddit thread has been a place that has changed dramatically and for the good. The conversations over there have been actually very positive, and there's been a lot of great things. And I've seen a lot of the comments to where even I'm never someone who doesn't take criticism. It's a matter of how your criticism comes in and how you present it. I think that should be anybody's philosophy in life. And Reddit does it really well. And I was looking at some stuff, and the concerns that some of the Reddit threads have are with next season is, well, if this happens and you've already set this up, it's like, please, if you guys told me Anarchy was going to suck, you told me this was going to, it's like, give me your trust in what I want to try to do. Because I can tell you that I'm passionate about it and that I'm inspired by it. And when I am, you get moments like the Horseman, you get Anarchy, you get the corruption angle, because I know how to tell the story. And I'm going to tell that story. And there's always changes that people are like, I don't like that. and that's fine. That is your right as a fan. But so I'm feeling the almost there. Stay on target.
There we go.
I will say with the Reddit, it definitely has become a nicer place because when I went through the other day and searched Justin, the meanest thing someone said was that we're too nice to people. So I was like, oh, okay, well,
about us.
Yeah, they got moderators over there now, and it's like they've really, because I was one of those people like a couple months ago. I went there and it's like, this is people just being nasty. I'm like, that's not what I really want to be part of. And then I don't know, I browsed around not too long ago, and I said these are really some good conversations, and it's like, and I don't need it. There were a lot of people who weren't agreeing with even the stuff that was going on with the last match, and the controversy behind it. It was like there was just conversations like, okay, well, this should have happened. I think this straight conversations between the fans about what they like and what they don't like is crucial to the growth of the business. It's crucial to it. So you can't it's never that. It's just a matter of presentation is everything.
Molly, I'm going to come to you next, but I'm going to get to a couple of these questions that have been stacked up. So the first one comes from Billy, one of our patrons here, and he says, where is it? My question is for Harloff. What kind of factors do you consider when you put someone new in the league, and how have they changed over time?
Well, it's different. That's another reason why I want to make some of the changes that I'm going to next season, is because the way that I used to do it in the past as opposed to how it's done now is very different. Even today I was having a conversation with managers. Like, I don't like the fact when a heel is with a baby face on a team and there's no storyline between it. It's like, why is that person with that person and all that? It doesn't work for what we used to do. But now it's like, well, those are my players that I need to play together in order to get points, in order to do this. And I think there's so to build up those rookies, you basically, the way you do it now is, all right, well, who's got a rookie in this faction? Which faction hasn't played enough matches? And this one here, okay, that person should play that person, they're 0-0, as opposed to, well, let's see how this person's story builds up. This is how I used to do in the past. It was like for example, Kevin Smets versus David Moore. That one came out because David Moore's got this big personality.
He does.
Massive personality, and he's just he's just such a good dude, and he's funny. And I remember saying, okay, well, here's this guy Smets, who I'm going to paint as like a Goldberg type figure, where he comes out and he's just brooding, because he auditioned as the Mach Schmo.
That's right.
and like, as opposed to the character that we got when he came out, I remember him going to the fan leagues and people saying, no, he's improved and he's doing pretty well. And I was like, okay, well, we've heard that before in the past, and somebody comes in, they don't win. So I'm in a no-lose situation here if I put up Kevin Smets versus David Moore. David Moore wins. That's this big baby face, huge personality that you can easily take to a couple wins here. If he wins a couple more, you can take him to a potential title shot, and that's gonna play. That's what people are gonna love. It. Kevin Smets, he comes in, let's see how he performs. Does he do the thing, the story of the rookie who auditioned for Patreon, and if he can come back and win, and then he winds up knocking the dude out, and you're like, whoa, this kid's for real. So now you start to shape him because you have a contender, as opposed to today where it's like, well, okay, Kevin Smets comes out, he plays so-and-so another time. That's why Jacob London played against Bancroft. That would never happen normally. I know that we had an Oyama, the kid, but we didn't know how good the kid was going to be. Oyama was set up as this fan league killer, and the kid was like, we thought the kid was going to be okay. So like, well, if the kid can fight himself off, and he's just coming off that free-for-all thing. Yeah. So, and he lost to in his first match. Was it Liz? No, who did he lose? He played in his first match. I can't remember.
I think it was Liz.
Was it Liz? He played in his first match. I don't think so. I think Liz came after. I don't remember. But
someone in the chat will know.
Someone will know, and
Leo will know.
Maybe it was their first match. Maybe that was their. You know what it was? The kid played first against Oyama. Oyama won, and then the kid went into the free for all 0-1. That's what it was. And because he was 0-1, then the kid didn't really pop or get over, as a lot of fans will know, with the audience until the free for all. Yeah. So that's how you start to build up competitors. You pay attention to what's going on inside the story. You look at what the fans are saying, what all these other people are saying. It's like, okay, well, they reacted this way, they reacted that. You throw in a little story, you gauge the performance of what they did, and that's how you start to build. Today's very different. you've got to build through roster, and you have to say, well, that person hasn't performed yet. That's going to sit a so-and-so potential star on the bench for a little bit because we need to get other people in because the rosters need to have equal things. So it starts to get tricky that way as far as how you build somebody up.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a quick one here before I get to Molly's question. This is a super chat from Mr. Jamie Gore, and he asked, hey, Kristian, who's your surprise player of the year that you didn't see coming other than Khan?
Horowitz. Yeah.
Absolute monster. He is a monster because he's got such a, like, this is a perfect example of what we were just talking about. Paul Walter Hauser versus Horowitz. When I booked that match initially,
So good.
yeah, it was a great match. And I said, hey, maybe Paul's pretty good. Josh is really busy. I don't know how. He definitely knows movies, but I'm not sure. I didn't know anything about him at all. Like, he wasn't like as beefed up as like Griffin Newman and all these other people were. He was a late pick, I think, inside of the draft too. So he starts answering questions. And when he comes into the room, into the StreamYard, it's so funny with him. He's a super nice guy, super sweet guy.
He's very nice.
Great dude. But when he gets into that room, it seems like it's the last place in the world he wants to be. Right? And he gets in there, and you're just like, and he's very nice. He's never anything but just super, super nice. But he's just like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And he gets the rules, the other thing, and then he plays like a beast. And he's just like knowing all the rules. He knows the rules. They ask the questions, and he's swatting people away. And he's about there's locked in, and then there's super locked in. This guy is super locked in. He is he's my front candidate right now for Rookie of the Year. I think even him and Harper. I know Harper's got that got the Star Wars thing going on, and he's been doing really well. But there's something about someone who can make that kind of push in singles. But the question is, can Horowitz do it against now the top tier guys? We're about to find out.
So I wanted to ask, because we've thrown around some names that he could possibly play next. Is there an idea behind that?
I mean, there's a few ideas but the question is going to come down to, this is again, the problem with this overall structure is that there's going to be, and I want to let everybody know about this. I'm about as upset about this as anyone else is, but as a fan, that either Mara Kanopik or Robert Parker, unless traded, will not be in the tournament. It's nuts. There is no world where I'm doing what I used to be doing where those two aren't in a tournament. There's just no way.
No, and we had that conversation too. We were going, who in the dungeon is going to be in the IG tournament? Like who?
That's what I mean. So it's like when you look at both of them, and then there's also, depending on what happens with Winston, better hope Laura Kelly wins the Star Wars championship. Because if she doesn't, then he's going to have the same choice between Ace and it's like, in no world. And Laura not in the same tournament. That's the issue with having too many people on one faction and all these other things. All of this kind of came into play when thinking about all of it. So
I do not envy the managers right now, because I would not want to have to choose between either of those.
And that's also why, again, Jake, to answer your question about Josh, is that if there's a few people I'd like to have him go against, and maybe even a couple of people on his own faction, but I can't do that. But if there's a few people I'm looking at him, but what I really want to happen, it depends on who's going to be in the tournament. There's going to be 4 people from each faction inside the tournament, the singles tournament. If he's in it, then maybe he sits back and he's going to have a better spot. If not, and Griffin's not in it, then I'd like to gear them up to each other to play in the live event in New York when we have it.
Hell yeah. We talked about it after Horowitz's match on our reaction. We said Griffey Newman.
Griffey Newman and Horowitz in New York would be
like the perfect card.
It'd be massive, but and then there would be there's either the singles championship or the Inner Geekdom championship will be on the line in the main event. Those two.
All right, that's one to look forward to. All right, Molly, you're up. What do you got for Harloff?
So we know that you used to be a competitor at one point.
Don't remind me.
Unless someone doesn't know, he used to compete. If you were competing now, who in the league would you want to challenge to
He's
face
already got an
first?
answer. You can tell he's already got an answer.
And
the flirting.
Yeah.
Who would you want to be on a team with?
Oh, on a team, I hate to say it, but it's just too cliche. I'd want to give the Schmoes another run.
Yay!
Yeah.
With Mark, we just know each other so well that even when we're competing, if you've ever seen us having a conversation on camera, that's the same thing that's going on.
Well, your guys' commentary of Amaru versus Haas.
That's so funny.
Oh my, that as a team would be incredible. Like just the two of you. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Kristian, I did say I think it would be fun for, I don't know if you probably don't even have the time to do it, but once a month, I think you and Ellis on the Patreon should just pick a random match and just do that DVD for commentary.
That's a great idea. Yeah, we had fun doing it. I'm trying to think if we were. I don't remember. Were we in this? We've been in the same room together so many times recently. I don't think we were, but no, we weren't for that. But it was that was a lot of fun. We had a blast doing it.
It was.
We told poor Amaru, we were like, it sucks that it happened to you, but it was pretty.
But it was so funny.
Yeah. I know. I felt so, but those guys handled it like champs, man. Both him and Moose. Even when I emailed them, they were really understanding, and they got it. It's like, because they know how hard the production team works. They know how hard Skybound and what they do, and it was just one of those things. And the team felt so bad about it when it happened. It was just this whole thing of what they were trying to do. It was a short crew that day, and there's just nothing you can do about it. And the fact that we were thinking about like what we were going to do, we wanted the stats to count. We wanted everything. We wanted the people to see the questions. So I was like, why don't we just do a commentary with Mark and I? And he's like, and Mark's always, I'll do it. And that was it.
I mean, the alternative being there's nothing, and you just say who won, like,
or edit it.
I mean,
or edit it. Yeah, and I don't want that.
Yeah, so I mean,
all right, a couple more Streamlabs have come in here. So this one's from Hitman Huston, and he or she asks, so when are we going to get the Colbert versus Cushing Lord of the Rings exhibition match?
Well, I mean, I can't. I don't want this to be the entire show, but like when COVID hit, it just took plans out for what we were wanting to do. We had all these things that we wanted to do, and the growth of where we were at. We were moving on the live events and everything, and on the studio matches and all that. We were moving. And then, it hit, and we got kind of beat up a little bit about it. So going after celebrities and other big matches was something that we wanted to do for sponsorships alone, right? So going out to try to get that Lord of the Rings match, I would love that. And that's one that I'm pretty confident that with enough time and going to Colbert, that Rachel would be honored to do that. I know how much of a fan she is, Colbert, and I think she even mentioned to me. And to be honest, can I curse on the show? I forget.
You told us you want to come back on it. So.
So we should come back on
yeah, it's right, because my kids listen to it. So no, I'm not gonna be a hypocrite on the own show. But I think that Rachel would, I'll say this, kick his ass.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I don't know how good he is at that, but I put my money on Rachel.
He's good.
Rachel would destroy him.
But Rachel would wreck shop. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm going to read two here from Dragon17. First one, I believe you said that the digital will mostly be for Star Wars and IG. Does this mean we are going to lose all singles players that live far away?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because remember, live events are coming back. And so, perfect example, Marisol McKee, where she lives, Philadelphia. How far is that from New York? Not very
far. Not very far from New York.
Yeah. So we're able to. There's a lot of different things. It doesn't just mean in studio. There's things that we can that he should know. He should know. I can see him smiling from here.
Just feel it.
By the way, I love that kid. I love
He's
Gold.
A good kid.
We love, and I am contractually obligated to call him Gold Leader, but I love Gold Leader. So. He is one of the shining characters that we've had this season. He gets it. He just gets it, and I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, we got to meet up with him in Atlanta a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw the picture. It was great. But I'm sorry. What were we saying before that? Before we got it
was about singles players in digital era, and I think you answered with live events.
So. Right. So live events is one of the ways too, and then there's other things that we're going to be doing in studio matches and certain things like. A perfect example is like look for Collision. Like Saul and Amaru both don't live here, and they're coming in. We're shooting, and we're gonna have bulk tapings. And I mentioned this. Where the hell did I mention? I don't know where, but I want the Q&A, and I'll say it here too. We don't have any dates set. We don't have any. They're not any set yet, but we are this. Molly, have you been to at all the Scum and Villainy Cantina?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Done a couple of meetups there.
Jake and I were just
Gil
there.
and I went a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we met up there.
Well, then you're going to probably want to go again because we're going to be offering something to fans, exclusive tickets, anywhere between 50 or 60 exclusive tickets where they're going to be able to go to a 4-match event at the Cantina. But it's not going to be live stream. It's going to be taped matches that everyone else will see the same way that you always see normal stuff. But they'll be exclusively. They'll probably have to sign like an NDA that they won't.
So it's like a studio taping, but it's Scum and Villainy.
Sign me up.
But I can tell you this: at one of the first tapings that we're doing there, I can't tell you which one, but we're doing a title match. So we're going to be. So
give me a date and a time. I'm there.
You can be at the Cantina. You can watch people kind of hanging out, They're going to open up the bar and the food early.
I was going to say, is there food? Is there going to be food?
It's not like that. That's a whole other story.
That was
the comedy.
Jake and I and us three were there for that. And
You want to see Mark Ellis get pissed off, which doesn't happen. Bring that up to him. Bring that up.
Really? Oh, I'm afraid. I don't want to see Mark pissed off. That's so scary.
Bring it up to him on the show because I like no food. It's like They can figure out where to eat. Like it's a long show, man. Because we had food the year before, so I didn't even think to ask. But when we do the awards in January, I'm going to push heavily. We have food there.
Yes, please. My liver will thank you.
Yeah, Scum and Villainy will definitely have food and all that, but we just don't know the dates yet. And we're going to have them exclusively for people that. There's not going to be many tickets, though. It's only going to be like 50 or 60.
Yeah, it's a small place.
Yeah, it is.
Counts on that ticket. I'm going to be waiting ready at my computer.
Absolutely. All right, another one here from Dragon 17. I'm just here to say a lot of people love free agency, the draft, and the sports side of the Schmoedown. It will be sad if it goes away next season.
Well, I mean, look, the draft and the free agency, I agree with that. I had fun with it also, but there's certain things that just won't work the way that they will when you're building up live events. You have to remember that it also worked in the way that it did inside of this digital age. There's certain things that the Schmoedown was built on that cannot coexist with a lot of this stuff. A lot of it that I just mentioned, but there's still a way to do the sports side, faction side, and all that, and still have the other things. So it's just a matter of how you change it and how you adapt to it. But you can't completely say to somebody, well, I know that you like this thing, but even though some people don't like it, we're just going to change it completely and now it's gone. You can't do that. What you have to do is, well, how do you make both the things that people love about that and the things that people love about that and mix them together? And it took a bit, but I remember kind of because I was coming up with a lot of different things. And then I said, oh, wait a minute. It was that same feeling that I got when I thought of like the Horseman angle or the Anarchy angle, or that I just have to go with that feeling. And I was like, wait, those are the pieces right there. If you do that with that, but combine that, but then announce it that it's going to be this, then that could work. Then the audience could get excited about it because they start seeing just like I didn't see it for a while. There's no way that you guys had seen the kind of what I'm thinking about. So, and if you do, please come work for me because I need. But yeah, so that's kind of that's hopefully an answer to that question.
Yeah.
Before we get to a bunch of these, Brian, I know you got something you want to ask as well, so go for it.
Yeah. Are you, just from us seeing reaction from the community, people coming into our chat, are you fully prepared for like the amount of people in the swarm that Spectacular is going to bring? Because I feel this is going to be like the most insane thing ever done.
I can't wait, and I have so many plans and so many ideas. I have two things that are. I don't want to spoil it because I want it to happen organically when it happens, but I love it so much I want to tell everybody. There's something else that we're working on that we're excited about. But yeah, man, there's already. That's why I'm trying hard to get those tickets on sale like very soon.
Yes, please.
If I can get those tickets on very soon, that allows people to book their tickets, book their flights, book all that. And there's a lot to deal with when it comes to coming out of this. And you see comments all the time. Go back in studio. The show's better in studio. Thanks.
No kidding.
Thank you.
But the thing is, there's a lot of protocol and things that go into it when you're not just running it with Mark Ellis from a shed. It's like There's more that goes into it. So that's what's taken so long. Because trust me, if I could have done it safely in February, I would have. But there's just no way to do that yet. But now that we're getting closer to doing that, I can't wait for Spectacular and how I want it to be crazy. You know, it's going to be the same theater that we had the free for all at, and that place gets loud.
Oh, I loved that theater.
Yeah, Mark and I are going to be in the balcony like we were for free for all also, and you're going to get the big entrances, and like that place is going to be slammed, and that place can hold close to like I think 800 to 1,000 people.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a big
That's
theater.
That's a big theater.
At full capacity.
Okay, well, so is it for sure going to be at that theater? Because I need to know where to book my Airbnb, Kristian.
I don't know if it's a reveal or not. It's been approved. I mean, a while ago.
Okay.
It's just a matter of there's just things that have to happen with, protocol and etiquette and all that. Or there's an official decision before we can do it because we just have to make sure that everything's safe and sound. But yeah, December 4th would be the date. Same with New York. October 9th would be the date. I'm really hoping to be able to make an announcement about that sooner than later. Same thing, protocol stuff and yeah. So I'm looking forward to that swarm that you're talking about, Brian, through both Spectacular and New York.
Oh man.
Well, you'll see all of us there. So
we'll be there.
We'll be there.
I just like even just thinking about it, like the excitement that's just going to be coming through at that event is just like it's going to be insane.
It's going to be nuts. I want to set up a thing, and I don't know, Jake, if I told you this or not, but so when we did the expo at Spectacular for that 1 year, we're not going to have that same venue. It's different, but if we can do something where we can set up a room or something, I want to set up like a media room for all the after shows and for everything too. So that way, like you guys can do interviews and stuff in there and have like pre-shows and all that. I'd love to do like Schmoedown media badges. It'd be fun.
That'd be so
Ooh.
good.
That'd be awesome.
It's like like coming to you live from Comic-Con. It's like
100%.
coming to you live from
That's the goal, yeah.
And for us, specifically for us, because Digital Schmoedown brought us together, the four of us have never actually been in a room together. So that would be the first time the four of us are ever in a room together. So that'd be really cool.
It'd be fun.
That'd be really cool. Fun. All right, so we are about the halfway point of the show, and we do have a bunch of more questions to get to, but the chairman dropped something on us before we started that he wanted to drop something exclusively here on the show, and I will leave that to him at the moment.
I will, absolutely. So we haven't debuted this yet. This is David B has been working on this for a long time.
He's fantastic.
He's so good. He's a genius.
He did our intro.
I actually never told anybody this on air, and I should because he knows. But both he and Eric are both some of my favorite people anyway. But it's a little inside information for both he and Eric did for me over the holiday. It was one of the we lost my brother in 2018, and my wife and I had thought of an idea to take some of his music that he had done on YouTube and to transfer it over into a bunch of pictures and things that I found. And Eric edited it, and David B did a rendition of one of my brother's songs.
Wow.
And I'm getting like choked up thinking about it because it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous and it's powerful, and it meant the world to me. Like, I don't think he understands. Like, I'd step in front of a bus for David B.
Oh,
like David B is he's the man. And so he came up with this theme for Marisol, and he's like, I need a little time. I said, brother, you can have as much time as you want because I know it's going to be genius when it comes out. So this is Marisol, Lady Justice's song that we're going to debut. We're going to debut at Collision. So here's the this is for you guys. Let me give you a little flair. Ladies and gentlemen, representing Corruption with a record of 3 wins, 1 defeat. She is Lady Justice Marisol.
I have literal chills right now.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good. Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, it's great. So that's David B.
That slaps. I love it.
Really
I
good.
feel like I just heard like Wonder Woman's theme coming.
I
That's
know,
what it
right?
is.
Yeah.
That's totally the vibe I got. I was like, this is so Wonder Woman. Oh my god.
It had kind of an Avengers vibe there at the beginning, but I love it.
I love the drums at the very beginning.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so good.
Oh,
Wow.
so good.
Yeah, it was really, really good. So
Well, there you go.
Cheers to
You'll hear that
man.
first at Collision. That'll be the first time you officially hear it in a match for all of you watching. And wow, thank you, Christian, for that. That was awesome.
Thank you,
You got it.
Christian.
Yeah, you
That's
got it.
awesome.
God,
All right,
David
let's-
B just works magic.
He does.
yeah, he's so good.
And he caters for everyone. Like he did our theme very quickly. He's
I
full
listen
on
to
Schmoedown.
Paulo Yama's like on the
Paulo
regular.
Yama's theme is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Oh,
Oh no.
many a treadmill nugs were done listening to Oyama's theme song for sure.
Oh, there you go. The Coyote stepping in. That theme deserves some super chat scratch. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, it's really good.
Greatly appreciated. All right, let's get to some of these questions. We do have a bunch lined up here. We can go rapid fire if we need to. Next one comes from Dragon17. In terms of ratings or views, is the Schmoedown now better or worse than it was before factions?
Tricky. What are we talking about? Are we talking about competition? Are we talking about overall product? Like it's loaded
Little
question.
column A, little column B.
Well, as far as overall product goes, no, it doesn't compare to what the show used to be, and I don't think that's anybody would have a problem saying that, because live events here's the difference. Even as much as that David B song was incredible, right, and all of you loved it, if the first time you heard that song was in front of 600 screaming fans, that song would mean a lot more to you. That song would play more. It would add to the element, the same way that like when Dagnino walks through and does some stupid face at the desk or at someone else, it means more. So you can't compare it. It's not the same show, but to no one's fault except the fact that we got put into this pandemic. So competition, on the other hand, I think that the players going in from digital into, a lot of people think that because you're playing digital, it's going to be so different in studio and that you're going to be nervous. And that might be the case for some people. But these players that have been playing in the digital age are going to be nasty, like really nasty. Because if you're a player that comes in that has never done the digital thing before, and you didn't have all this time during the pandemic to do all this studying, that all the time that these competitors had on their hands, like they are really, I look at that Star Wars division. Molly, you are a warrior for playing in that division, and you kick ass in that division. Like that's the hardest division and stuff. Like hopefully, like when I look at, I'm happy that I remember that Chewbacca's a Wookiee,
Same.
So
it's gotten insanely hard, and like I used to be like, make the questions harder, and now I'm like, okay. Like,
Slow down, please.
You and Alex did that to yourselves. When you were on that show, and I went, oh no, I know PJ listens to this show. And I was like,
I got what I wanted.
Yeah, it's like, and Alex, Alex is one of the most dominating champions all time, and it was when those two matches with Dimolante, they're both boom, boom, boom. Like I was like, wow, PJ got mad.
Oh yeah.
That is fair.
I'm kidding. I don't know if PJ knows how to get mad. He's the best.
I know, he's the sweetest.
All right, Tim Sims got the next one. Thank you, Tim. Swag has 2 big title shots to get out of the last place. What will the Stars need to do to get out of last place after a shockingly disappointing first half?
Tournaments. They're going to need tournaments. And they're going to need tournaments to save them. And Roxy knows that. Roxy's got one.
Hi, PJ.
Yeah, Roxy
I'm
has.
imagining the claps.
Well, free agency starts tomorrow.
That's right.
That's
That's right. I saw that.
Yeah, are you guys hearing me pretty well? Because you're breaking up a little bit for me.
No, we got you.
You're good.
We got you.
Yeah. All right. So it does. It's not. It's me. It's not you. But yes. Sorry. We got what was the? I got cut off there.
You're good. It was what will the Stars need to get out to do to get out of last place for their first half?
So the tournaments is the big thing, because you look at Roxy turned it around tremendously in the tournaments last year, because Jeff Snyder won 4 matches, the Odd Couple won the tournament, and this year she's got she doesn't have the odd couple, but she got Alex Damon in that Star Wars tournament. So she's got to have the edge there. In Inner Geekdom, like Hannah's been working, so hopefully she can get some wins after Hannah. He had a nice start in the IG tournament last year, but then she's Jacoby Bancroft's no joke. Jacoby Bancroft can make a move. Janine, you look at what Janine's doing. Janine.
Oh man.
And the question is, what as far as teams go, like who she's going to put in the team. She's got a couple solid teams. And what's this Nick Harley going to do? Like how's this guy going to be? So
that's right.
Roxy's not out of it by a long shot. Do I think that she's going to make it to the top? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to make it to the top. But I bet you that Roxy, if she has the right runs, could see herself in third place again, and that would be a big achievement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw what the tournaments did last year for Corruption. We've talked about it plenty of times. I mean, it's very possible that it could definitely happen, especially now that you have Alex Damon in the Star Wars tournament. So you never know, unless he plays Maul.
It does he even matter anymore? Come on.
Oh man, they love you.
Kristian, you don't know the amount of shame she throws.
I hope you're watching, Eric. I hope you're watching.
She is sassy. This one.
Yeah, they love you when they love you, and then it's over.
The second she stepped foot in the dungeon, she was like, "I'm home," and the sassiness came out.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. As soon as Alex lost that belt, I was like, "Oh, you're in my game now."
He hasn't played a 3-round match, and I don't think ever has he ever played a 3-round match. I mean, not including the Fatal 5
in Star Wars, not in a while.
Yeah,
I mean, in IG, but
right. But in Star Wars, no. So that's gonna. Yeah, you're right. It's a different world. 3-rounders and 5-rounders are very, very different.
Speaking of tournaments, Dragon17 here with another donation says, any extra info you can give us about the tournaments?
We already made all the announcements as far as what the numbers are. So you're gonna have IG's gonna have 8. Star Wars will have 8. Then there was a vote. It was either going to be 16 teams and 16 singles, or it was going to be 8 teams and 32. The managers voted on it. I wanted to give them the opportunity to decide. And I thought it was going to be a split, because if it went split, then I was going to let the fans decide. But it wasn't. It went the majority, and it went 32 singles and 8 teams.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay, so that was the manager's call. That's interesting. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Wars, your gold leader with the donation says, would you be interested in trying to do another Fatal 5-way for Star Wars match at Celebration next year? Also, why do you think gold leader is going to win the next tournament?
Question 1, next season, when I do things the way that we're planning on doing them, things like Iron Man match, things like the Fatal 5, the Fatal 3, stipulation matches, all those things from back in the day that we've lost will be able to come back. So yes, a Fatal 5-way at Celebration sounds great, but I don't know if I would put the big pros in it. I think I'd want to do something where we find, the next, maybe we do 2 of them at Star Wars Celebration. We try to find the next Star Wars competitor there, because there's a lot of people that don't know about it yet. And I know that and this is why the digital age was very helpful. We couldn't get people like Harper and Gold Leader and Marie Wilson and everybody back we couldn't get people like now. I mean, those 3 alone, like the Star Wars division is as strong as like when the IG was at its prime, and it still is, but Star Wars, you've got everybody is a killer. Everybody. There's so many, like, if you're not a killer, you can't survive in that division. Whereas IG, you have a couple of matches where you can play and you can say, okay, you know what? I'll play this person and I kind of build myself up a little bit. And if I can win, then I can get to the next level. There is no next level in Star Wars. You come in at that level, you better be ready to scrap for the title in match 2, because that's how good these contenders are. And as far as Gold Leader, I won't laugh at Gold Leader for his brashness, if you will, because he's proved that he can talk.
Yeah,
he can talk the talk and he can walk the walk, and that's huge. And look, I love the Bad News Bears Finstock Exchange kind of dynamic that they have. Like
that's
this,
so what they are. I never even thought about that. That's so what they are.
They really. They told and dude, and this isn't just, it's not a show. This faction loves each other. Like they really,
you can see it.
They're like the Sopranos.
Well, every time we mention something of someone, there's like 6 that pops up on our chat.
There's Kai, there's
they run in packs.
There's Gold Leader. Like they're everywhere. Like,
and they're massive characters, man. Like
yes,
Ty Lieberman is a trip.
Yes, he is.
Trip.
He is.
Oh my god!
With his wine, and then like it's like he's great.
He was like, oh, I got shrimp cocktail on my scarf. Hold on, then puts the whole freaking scarf.
And to look at the king, look at the
yes,
like, and Kiss the Ring and all that stuff. I mean, like the king is going to be like, that's something I want to do at a live event because the King's in California, so that is a very good.
He's in my neck of the woods,
so that's fantastic. Because you remember when Booker T used to come in with the crown and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, with the scepter and the big huge cape. Oh yeah.
You get a King Khan like theme song and the royal theme song, and then after every time he wins, he tries to get somebody to kiss the ring. You know? Yeah, that's the type of stuff I want to do again, and like so between him and the Barbarian, they're all a bunch of characters over in the exchange.
Oh yes, they are.
I mean, the amount of characters, just not even being characters, just like their personalities that have come from the rookie pool, I think has honestly been one of the funnest things to see. You've got such different personalities. You've got like brash, you have quiet. You just, I mean, you put someone loud like Ty versus Jessica Schloth, who's very soft spoken, but will kick your ass, like flat out. And I think it's awesome how it's kind of played out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Mark and I say this all the time. The difference between when we were putting people into the show in like season 5 and 6 is that you're going to have people that we know inside of the space. Like, well, what are you guys doing? Oh, trivia. Oh, I've heard about it. Yeah, it's fun. Let me try it. Then they do it. That's what happened with Andreyko and like Bibiani. They were like, yeah, we'll try to do it. Then they really like it and they keep doing it. But the fans, the rookies that are coming in now, they were like fans of the show and they get all of this, how it works. They get it. This is how they found the show because they were fans of the show, and I don't have to explain the rules to them. They know the rules. They've been watching the rules. They've screamed at their computers about the rules. You know, like they know it. They've been there. So it's like that's the difference with this crop of rookies. That these are people coming in, and a lot of them like auditioned, so they want it, so they got it, and they auditioned because they got like. I see Christy V is in the chat with her and her husband. Like they were at the New York events all the time, you know, and like they got it, and so that's the difference between the crop of rookies like now that come in. That's why you get these characters and these personalities because they've just been watching the show for a while.
Oh,
so the one question I had and I wanted to ask is on the topic of all this. What is like what do you personally look for when it comes to a Schmoedown competitor? Character, knowledge, just their personality, everything, like because we saw so many rookies come in this year and they're really taking over the game this year. They're kind of this new generation. What is it that you personally look for when it comes to a new Schmoedown competitor?
Well, I mean, it's the same answer that we answered earlier, that it's a little different, but not really when it comes to both digital and in studio, because I approve all the auditions and everything that are coming in, because in my head, I'm thinking in the long run of what they're going to be able to do. And it's like, yeah, can you talk on camera? Do you know what this is overall? Do you understand that it's as much of a show as it is, you know, trivia? Like, and if you are a straight up trivia player, can you still understand that rhythm of it? You know, do you have a presence here? Because there's a lot of people that can play trivia. Yeah. Like there's a lot of people but like it's when you're watching, you guys know when you're watching, you want to be entertained by people also. And that's what the difference is. And it's not just, well, that person's really good at trivia. It's like, I know, but I don't want to, I've never wanted to do just trivia. I want to be able to do, like I just mentioned with Khan, right? As in the chat, and he's like, I'm intrigued. Damn right, you're intrigued. It's a good idea. but what I mean though for him is that like he gets it, he understands, and like you can tell not everybody right away, like the poor guy too. He comes in and he's a fan of the show, and he's got to help kind of create this character and do this thing with a few notes via email, and then he's got to just do his thing. As opposed to, I was with Smets every day when he was in studio, where we were working on, when you come out, make sure you do this, because that'll add to that intensity. And then he's like, well, what if I do this? And then I can have conversations with him that I can't have with someone like King Khan yet. And so when we're able to do that, that's the type of stuff I do look for. Like, do they have that thing that can be molded into, all right, well, yeah, we can actually do some really fun stuff because you can tell that they want to, that they're understanding. And then it's also about wins and losses. If you start winning, like look at Chandru. Chandru came out of nowhere because Chandru was a fan that I met at the awards. And it was when I first started opening up the possibilities of having like fans come in and start like competing as, like, okay, we found you because you were a fan type thing. There were a couple patrons that came in here and there, but like for the most part, like we weren't doing that. And he approached me and I was like, he's got a good personality. You know what? We're trying to build up the Inner Geekdom division. He wants to play Inner Geekdom. He knows he's got good knowledge about it. And let's see. And he came in and he was like doing the dancing and stuff. And I was like, you got to play with that dance. I'm like, do some more like the dancing. And he did.
Always played with it. Always played with it.
Remember, he was painted as a Uber baby face when he came in.
Yeah.
He brought cookies to the studio his first day there.
And I was like, man, this guy, like people are going to love this guy. And then he starts cutting these interviews afterwards. And he starts like talking so much like Conor McGregor, like smack. I'm like, dude, I cannot sell you. I was like, it's funny. I was like, but I can't sell you as a baby. They're going to hate you if you keep doing it. You just beat Brandon Hanna and you just took a dump on his head right after. And it's like, you can't do that. It's like the guy, you already beat him. Like, move on to the next thing. You're like, no, who am I going to play next? And then I started realizing, as the same type of thing I came up with Mike, I'm like, if you got the personality to run heel, so you want to like, let's take you heel. And he is one of the best because it's not easy to be heel for people because people boo you, they hate you, they say these people who don't understand wrestling, they say things and they go like mean. Like not everybody loved Andrew Guy at first. People hated Andrew Guy, and Andrew Guy eventually had the same thing with Mike. Mike first turned bad. They're like, oh, he's kind of a douche now. And then they're like, well, I understand what he's doing. Like, and that's Chandru played masterfully against Robert Parker.
Oh yeah.
And so that's the thing that I look for when I see people come in. Is there like, I think this Nick Harley has the goods, to be honest with you. I don't know. I got to see how he does. With the trivia. FCL, he was hanging in there. He won. That Kofi match was tough, real tough. Came out. I love Kofi, by the way. Kofi Harloff, incredible. But how's he going to hang in the bigs? So that's what I'm curious about. He's got it as far as the promos and the character. Like I can do stuff with him. I'm not, if he was in studio, not worried about that. The question is, can he put the wins together?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I wanted to point out great Rachel Cushing is in the chat. Shout out to the Crusher.
Rachel.
Hello, Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us for a bit. We do have one from Mr. Jackal. Jesse Swift popped in the Streamlabs here. Thank you, Jesse. And he says, hey, Harloff, appreciate all the work you put in and how aggressively honest you are with the fans/followers of the movie Trivia Schmoedown. Thank you for always working to keep things fresh and for flipping my life upside down in the best way. Back to studying. So,
thank you. Jesse's a good kid, man. You can tell he's very eager, and I love eager. No, but he's not. But even when he was in the beginning in the off season, where he's getting his name out there, he was excited. Kid was excited to be playing, and he's also been patient. And that Superman call, it was a bad call, and he got screwed on it. So but it happens. It's one of those things that happens too. He was there was this, for those people who don't know the Superman the movie thing, just the way it was written. It was just, it was one of those things written in the document the wrong way, and I should have picked it up on my end. I know the movie, but either way, like those things happen. But Jesse Swift is a really good. He's got a good head on his shoulders. And a lot of these rookies do.
Oh yeah,
he's one of those players. I feel like there's a lot of people that are 0-1 that, like, when they play their next, you better watch out because he almost beat Amaru. Like he came close to beating him, and look at where Amaru is right now. So it's like, you better watch out.
And we'll say, speaking of Superman the movie, R.I.P. to the legend, Dick Connor.
Yes.
R.I.P.
Yes, absolutely.
Jake, do you want me to get through these super chats?
Yeah, go ahead. Go and read a couple of those off. Yes.
So sorry that it took us a bit to get to these guys. We will get through them. So this comes from Billy P. Throwing it way back for this question. Whatever happened to Cheese from phase 1 of the podcast?
Jeez, John Kaiser, man. John, he's doing. I think he went to Kansas City for a little bit. He's a Comedy Store guy. I don't know if he came back. But he's a sweetheart of a guy. He helped get us started with the engineering cheese. It's great.
There you go, Mr. London stepping in. There you go. Yeah.
We have this one from Jamie Gore. Kristian, are there any storylines in the past you would have changed or just don't like looking back on them?
I won't say that don't like. There were ones that we just couldn't execute because of certain. The problem is that you don't have competitors on, like, we don't have the funds to put people into full year contracts and stuff too. So it's like, oh, well, so-and-so's not available. It's like, well, there's nothing I can do about it. You know, it's like and things move on. And yes, well, I got to build around and go different storyline. And sometimes doesn't matter what I do. What will never change is the fact that the match play dictates the story. Mm-hmm. That's never going to change because that's the essence of the game. The trivia has to inspire the story and not the other way around. I mean, contrary to some people's beliefs, sometimes they're just like, this is too much about story and it infiltrated the game. It never does. It never does because the game always has to come first. That is a rule. That is an overall rule that will continue on until we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, it's not like the story is going to dictate the result of the match.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And my chat refreshed, so I lost if there was any more super
We are
chats.
good. We are good. We are caught up on super chat. We do have some Streamlabs to catch up. I'll do one more before we get to some of our questions here. This one's from Tim Sim. Thank you, Tim, as always. What's your response to several fans who want smaller scenes, less manager bantering, and faster transitions to the game itself?
Understandable. I mean, it's part of the digital age also. That wasn't a thing in studio. Because I think one of the things that we might do is maybe mic up managers, but like show that stuff on Patreon.
Yes,
like
that would be a good Patreon tier.
I've seen a couple people ask that question so far in the chat.
Yeah. So it would be them, but it'd be like a Patreon thing. You want to see the manager stuff, or maybe even run it off the site, like manager cam. You know, like just something like whatever it might be. You could, but I'm with you. Like the problem is, like, we cut down a lot of the banter in the beginning. It used to be the manager comes out first and this, and we got to get the game, you know, and it sucks because you get people like Winston and Roxy, and they're super entertaining when they're going after each other. But it's like, we got to get to the game, especially when there's new people kind of watching for the first time. Like, what the hell? Let's get to the game. Yeah. But yeah, so when it comes to that, what was the first part of that for Tim?
It was, what's your response to several fans who want smaller scenes, less manager bantering, and faster transitions?
Smaller scenes, eat it. It's a matter of, like, if I'm telling the story and the story goes, and if it's 2 minutes, it's 2 minutes. If it's 3.5 minutes and it plays, then it's 3.5 minutes. That I'm not going to, break on, because I need to tell my stories. And if it's longer, if they take a little longer, then yeah. But I think it's probably the same question. It's digital, and it's like, how long do you want to just see two StreamYard scenes? It's just dull.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to see Shannon calling Kaiser a buffoon in studio again.
Yeah, in person, face to face,
yelling at him.
Yeah. It's gonna be amazing. Molly, I'll shoot it to you. I believe you have another question lined up.
So over the years, what is something that you really wanted to make work for the Schmoedown, but it just couldn't work out?
Merle versus Levine.
Oh.
That would have been a
Is that all Drew's fault?
Partially. Yeah, I mean, and Sam retired. I could have still put that. Still put that match together, whether they were champions or not. I mean, obviously, the championship in LA would have sold out like that, and people would have lost their minds to see that. Yeah. And honestly, at that point, Sam was in his prime, and Dan was coming back from from being away from the game for a little bit. He was shaky for a little bit until he got Dan's Dan. And once he's like, well, I don't like feeling like this. Now I'm going to learn. Oh, that's what you're doing? Okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do that much better. That's what Dan does. But at the time, Dan came back, and he was he was definitely trying to feel it out, and Sam was at his prime. So I don't know at that time who would have won that match live in person. So and Sam had just come off playing against Rachel Cushing and Clark Wolf in a brilliant match. So, and when Sam was in his prime, Sam was good.
Yep.
Sam takes that brilliant arguing and debating that you see when him as a manager, and he was able to implement that as a player. And yeah, that's why he's as good as he was. But then, Dan's Dan. So I don't know. That's the match that I wish I would be able to book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
That would have been great.
Cushing versus Dan too. That's another one. It's never happened, that match. In no form. And it's like Rachel knows. I tell her, I think she retired a year too early. But I respect her decision. She had to do.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, we do have a couple more left. Let's get to these real quick. Dragon 17 coming in. Thank you, Dragon. I love Guy on the Desk, but I hope we get a team action reunion in a later year. The Action Army will buy a lot of merch.
so here's the thing, something like that, right? Right now, Guy is A, killing it, B, having a lot of fun being on.
He's amazing.
He's
great
been
on the desk.
so good.
And honestly, he's happier on the desk than he is.
Yeah.
And he's a passionate dude like myself, like a lot of people. And so I think but the difference is today, if we were in studio at live events and the structure was the way it is right now, that never happens. It can't happen. Because what I have to do at that point is call up Kaiser and then tell Kaiser, hey, you need to drop somebody off your team. Why? Because I want Andrew Guy to come back.
Yeah.
No, but I don't want to drop anybody.
Yeah.
And oh, okay. Well, then let me try to do this then. Well, then you got to trade Bateman. No, I don't want to trade Bateman. Okay.
Yeah.
There is an open spot. Okay, Guy's on there. Well, we don't want to play Guy and Bateman yet. And it's like, oh, Jesus. You can't put together those types of stories right now because it's there's too much on the line in general. So, a lot of different reunions and things and surprises and people that I want to bring back. Like I can't do that yet until we make some changes.
It's fair.
Makes sense.
Another one from Dragon.
In an organic way. I was just saying you can't do it in an organic way. In an organic way.
Yeah.
Dragon 17. So it sounds like we will have a bunch of factions like the Five Club and Lion's Den next season. Is this correct?
Who knows?
That is fair. Just wait and see. You got like 6 months until you'll find out. Just wait and see.
Yeah.
All right. Canada Rocks, one of our beautiful patrons here with a $5 donation. Which of the players that have done digital only so far do you think will do it best live performance and crowd reaction wise?
Crowd reaction wise, Marisol will be.
Yes.
That she's a superstar.
Yes.
She already told us that she has like a Wonder Woman costume ready to go. She's gonna walk out in now with the theme. Oh,
she's a superstar, and I think that the audience. That's the thing is that I don't know how long you can't keep Marisol a heel because no one's gonna boo her.
No, that's true. That is very true.
She's not a heel. It's like you just can't, no matter how badass she is, she's not a heel because the audience loves her.
She's like an anti-hero where it's like they're like, oh, I probably shouldn't root for this person, but they're so cool.
She's guilty by association, but she's also but she is, she will transfer over very well. I think Collins will transfer over very well. I actually think Collins will transfer over and be more comfortable, strangely enough, in a in studio and live event. He's itching, man. You talking about another guy that I'm just super impressed by, and that's Adam Collins. Like not just how he performs in the ring, but like what he does. Every time I speak to him, he's just very like he not only just thankful, but like he's very even when he presents things that he wants, and if he's disappointed in certain things, and obviously he got a bad rap this season because there's so many different tiers to get to that title, and because again this system, it's but people don't understand why has Collins been sitting out so long. You don't think I would have Collins play like 5 times already? Collins is exciting to watch, but the problem is like it's a build-up. Who's in line? Who's in this? And then he's on a faction, so that faction just got a match and this and that. So you have to wait because that faction has so many matches. That faction needs matches out. If that faction, so I don't have time to give him a match. However, now he's in a tier. And he's going to be, and I think that he's going to be playing against. I don't know if this was announced yet. I want to make sure that I don't spoil anything in these. Who
He
is
has a match this week, if that's what you're thinking.
who?
That's
Adam? No, not the teams.
okay.
A singles match. He's gonna be playing. Let's see. Who is the last person JTE beat that you guys saw?
JTE.
Otter?
No, he played.
Yeah.
No, someone in the chat will correct me before I can search it, but he recently played.
Preston.
Oh,
Okay.
that was
Yes.
Oh,
Paul.
yeah.
JT is playing Collins,
Oh my god.
and then the winner of that will play the winner of Jeff Snyder will face who did I was trying to say who I'm trying to remember.
Don't spoil anything, Kristian.
I know. So, and without saying, if I say, well, who so and so play last, then you're gonna know he won. But
here you go. No, not this one. There you go, right here. It's Snyder Chance.
Yeah, Snyder's gonna play Chance.
There you go.
Snyder will play Chance, and then JTE will play Collins, and then the winners of that will play each other, and then the winner of that will play either Kevin Smith, Marisol McKee, Dan, Ben, or Ethan.
Wow.
And most likely maybe in New York.
Oh
goodness.
This second half of the year is just going to be
There is a world where if Marisol McKee can get it done against Kevin Smith and then she wins the title, there is a world that Marisol could play against Adam Collins in New York.
My God.
Here's the reality.
I need to start saving up for New York.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna sell all the furniture I just bought.
Yeah,
I know. Sean's in the other room like, no.
I know.
All right, quick one here from Jamie. Hey, I was a huge Schmoedown fan and love the movie review videos, Cartoon Cat all the way. I love that the big thing kind of brought that back.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited with that show. It's been a lot of fun to do. It's been straight up conversation. It's been scary because, as you guys know, like YouTube, it's not very friendly to their creators, right? Unless you're like millions upon millions of subscribers, but so you got to find a way, whether it's Streamlabs and super chats and all that, to really make it work. But the problem is also sometimes when you're doing a show, depending on how you put it together, something like SEN Live, people want that straight up conversation. So like, well, instead of getting rid of SEN Live, because people love that show also, why not just do a different, we'll just do pure conversation and we can make it a smaller show where it's me and Mark and somebody else, and then we could still do the interaction on SEN Live, and it seems to be working out pretty well. The new channel, if you didn't know, is the SEN channel. Yeah. Please go and subscribe to that. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, and we're building. We're almost there.
That's awesome.
I just put from Haskell in the chat. I didn't even just put together the fact that JTE and Snyder could face off against each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You know, and JT wants that match back.
I'm sure the fans want that match back.
God, if that was an all like New York, like that's literally all East Coasters.
Yeah, well, that one wouldn't be New York though. If it happens at that match will probably happen at the Cantina.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm done. We have a couple matches out there we have to do. I'm pushing hard to try to get everything else for the remainder of the year, unless like there's people that just can't come out to do digital. I want to switch it all over when we're allowed to. I'm just, again, it has nothing to do with anybody's hard work or anything else too. I want to go back to shooting matches again. It's just,
I mean, there's a level of just excitement and like all stuff that's so different compared to.
It's just a different atmosphere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Different.
I mean, you're creating a literal physical atmosphere when you're doing these things in person versus on a StreamYard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
absolutely.
So, my buddy Thrawn 2K5. By the way, I don't know if I think that maybe on SEN Live, if I didn't, I gotta give him props too. So I thought he worked. He lives in like the San Diego area. I was there with my family a couple years ago. I thought he worked. I was going to the San Diego Zoo with my family. I thought he worked there, and he was gonna he's like, I can hook you up with some tickets. I was great because I don't have to wait online, do all that stuff too. Turns out he got me the tickets.
Oh
wow!
He came up and I was like, dude. And he was
awesome.
He's like, he was a Collider Live fan. He had done a bunch of songs for us and stuff.
The music, right? It was him and David B. They were battling. Yeah.
So Thrawn's a good dude, man. So anyway, yeah. So he's asking about tickets at the Cantina. We don't have the official approval for it yet. It's just the main. It's like the thing we want to do. JC, who over there, Reifenberg, who competes in the FCL, he's like, yeah, let's do it. So on that side of it, we're good to go. It's protocol stuff, and once that's into play, we can hopefully start getting that out there.
It's kind of cool that you have like him where he gets to come, like, contribute to the league and just kind of have fun doing that, and then it's kind of returned in the same way. It brings business to him, and it's kind of a cool little symbiosis that works between you guys.
Well, that was the idea. It would almost be like our studio taping, right? So it's like if you're a fan and you live in that area, or if you just know that we're doing it at the Cantina, you're going to see some big, huge matches and some big stars on it. And it's going to be, but you're going to be in that area where you're going to say, oh, there's well, let's be honest, there's Dagnino drinking at the bar. So-and-so there. And that's fun. And then they'll be walking around. You have some food. JC was telling me we could get like a specialized, like you get a drink, the Outlaw for a drink, you know.
Oh, God.
You do like
that's awesome.
Like specialized cocktails, like the dangerous, you know, if you do like the dangerous.
There's got to be one called the Schmo. There has to be a Schmo.
Yes. So there's so many. I think fans are going to really respond to it. We're going to get good footage out of it, and I think that especially that we're doing that big title match that day. So it's we're excited once we get it. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That sounds fun.
I have to say, it is kind of fun from a fan seeing like how excited you are getting into this, and like how you desperately want to like tell us all these great things, but I mean, obviously
you can't reveal it just yet.
No, because I know what's going to happen. I already know this because Spectacular is where you're going to hear the majority of what happened next season.
Yeah,
and right away people are going to go, but I like it this way. It's like, I know, but what I hope, if I've gotten your trust at all from the last like 8 seasons, I ask you to trust me on here too, because I need to be having fun and to be being passionate about what we're doing in order to say, oh, this is how we can keep pushing it to where we were in the beginning of 2020, build out people, get some big matches. Like, think about all the matches we can't have right now because like Mara Kanopik and Parker would have played each other at this point. They would like all these matches, all these things that could happen. You can't, because rightfully so, the managers are building up these arsenals to win, and it's like I think it served its purpose for the 2 years of what we were doing, and I think that it was very rewarding. But if you look at what we've always done, 2014 starts in the AfterBuzz Studios, right? 2 years later, it moves over to Collider, right? 2 years later, Anarchy happens, right? Yeah. Switches up the whole league. 2 years later, the nuke switches up the whole league. 2 years later, it's like you got to move, because if you stay doing the same thing, it's like, okay, well, what's next? What's next? And it's like this thing that you love, that you think you love as much as you do, you will get tired of it unless there's a shift and there's a switch and a mixture of both.
Yeah, you got to switch it up. Keep it interesting.
Yeah, keep it spicy.
All right, so we have 2 more Streamlabs, but Brian Ward, the great Brian Ward, reminded me of something that I definitely need to ask having Kristian on the show. It's something that has landed in our lap because of a certain loss that has happened. When are we getting a Damon versus Damon?
Well, here's the thing. It's like because this is the problem with the not problem, but this is the fact of the Star Wars division, right? A player like Molly Damon is one. Like if I told you had to play Molly Damon in Star Wars trivia, and you're like, I'm a Star Wars fan, she would make you silly.
I'd be terrified.
She would make you look silly. She's in, like I said, she's in a division where all these killers are here, and the thing is, at the moment, she's, I think, 1 and 2, Molly, 1 and 3, okay, like, and it's different inside of, but that's different inside of Star Wars. That's not when you see someone in singles, you're like 1 and 3 is tough.
I mean, Scrimshaw is like 1.
Scrimshaw's like 1 and 4, 1 and 5, and you compare what he is, like, you transfer over like box office dollars, and that guy is like a 6 and 1 singles competitor.
Oh yeah,
he's got the same kind of skills in that he does in Star Wars, but because Star Wars is so tight, he's playing people like Ace and Laura and Damon and Ken. Same thing with Molly. You know, Molly's playing her last match against Laura Kelly. So the problem is that it's the number that dictates the spot. So there is a world, I haven't done the brackets yet, that Molly and Alex could open up. There's a world. So you know, we have to see how it plays out. Now, Molly is excited for that. How long before, if he's watching from Hawaii, Harloff, Kaiser. What are you talking about? You gotta give her. Come on, build up to it, buddy. You don't want to. Because they're all used car salesmen.
I would love to knock Alex out of the tournament.
What a story that would be. But that's the other thing that we have not started doing our 2022 live event slate yet, but I want to go back to Atlanta in February. That's what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there,
please.
I mean, one of my questions was, is there a city that you haven't gone to in the US that you're like, I know this would be a great place to do it at?
Boston. I want to go to Boston.
Oh, Boston.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
See, I had, the sneaking suspicion that maybe a sports team alliance, you would hold off on Boston a little bit, but
no, not at all. Because I'm also trying to be a businessman.
There you go.
I'm not like, if there's one way, even if it's exhibition, if there's one way that I could get Rachel Cushing to do another match, it's go to Boston, right? If it's Roxy Stryer in Boston, if it's Jeff Snyder, if it's
Coy.
Paige Forbetti in Boston. Paige Forbetti's another one, by the way, big personality.
Oh yeah,
I love her.
So like that's what I'm talking about. Like that type of energy inside of Boston. That's why I'd want to go back there. There's so many things that could happen. And from what I'm like, things, again, to be a broken record here, things that I could not do today that I can certainly do in season 9 in Boston at a live event or any other event.
Yes.
my wallet's already hurting, but
I
I'm not even mad.
All right, so 2 more. We'll go ahead and wrap the show up with these 2 questions here. First one comes from the great Jake Iacovetta. Thank you, Jake, for the donation. The Star Wars questions are still too easy. Step it up, PJ. In
Can you please not?
He said, "Good Lord, please don't. I'm lucky to get 2 answers right in a whole match now."
Who was the craft services guy's cousin's uncle?
So I will be honest. I have asked Sean a question like that because these questions have been so insane. I am writing down questions like that. I'm like, they're going to ask about the freaking bartender who doesn't say a freaking line, but she serves a drink to Han Solo. So they're going to ask about it. Like, stop it.
My favorite one to start with Molly is, how many stars do you see in the background of opening crawl?
That's crazy stuff. That's not.
Don't make me stop and count it because I will.
I'm telling you, the stuff that you people know when it comes to this, they're watching it. I'm just like, oh my god, it's like so. It's so impressive, and it's. I can't wait for this Star Wars title match between Dimolanta and Kelly. I mean, it's going to be.
I'm so excited.
I will say, like, with the digital age, I think that. I mean, let's be honest. There was a point, I think, before digital, that Star Wars was maybe gonna not be a division anymore. And compared
no. That was what the audience wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the audience.
We were told many times, there's only 3 people in that division. They're only doing it because you like Star Wars. Not entirely false, but it also is because the amount of competitors that came in and started playing really well, and then more people started coming in. Because remember, no one's going to beat Sam Witwer, no one's going to beat Ken Knapsack, no one's going to be. And then it just started as like a thing that we did between Campia and Knapsack versus Freddie and Sam, and then that turned into a division, and then that turned into the celebration stuff, and we started. And then when we did the Star Wars Celebration that Molly was involved in, by the way, that match shifted the whole division, because it found all this new Star Wars talent, said, there's more people out there that can be really good in this division. And then this season was just a whole other level. So, that division for sure, it's just like any other thing. It just needs to be, it's got to be built, and you just got to find the stars, and you got to get comfortable with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think through digital, that one has just grown above and beyond what it started out as, because I mean, you have people coming in now that like they looked at it, I think, just like, oh cool, this is gonna be a fun thing to do, right. And now they're like, I'm going to destroy this person. I need to study like I mean, for one example to me is Hoey. Like Hoey seems to have came in like, this is gonna be fun, and then now he's like, give me someone, I want to destroy them.
100%. And that's the thing also. Bring up Hoey. That guy really impressed and was so, but yet another problem. Now that's the same problem Kaiser's going to have now. Now he's got to figure out Molly or Hoey, right? And then it's a matter of, well, what happens to either one that doesn't get the match? Most likely because of all the other tournaments and everything else, they might be benched for the rest of the season. Yeah. And it's like, because there's just too many competitors and there's too many matches to book right now because of things that you can't just put throwaway matches in there. So it's tough because Hoey's really good. I mean, my personal opinion, and I haven't heard anything yet, but my personal opinion is that Hoey's probably going to shine next season. That's my, I think, especially with the stuff that I have kind of planned out. I think Hoey's going to
just keeps teasing it, but not revealing.
I know.
Keeps teasing. Yeah. All right. Final Streamlabs here from Dragon 17. That Marisol theme sounds like the song that pops in when you face the final boss or the world champion in a video game.
It does.
I love it.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's very
really
true.
Good.
Very true. All right, crew. Well, any final questions for Kristian before we kind of wrap?
I have a quick one.
Jill, go for it.
Go, Jill.
Do you remember the name of the pizza place in Anaheim where the Schmoedown idea came to be?
No, Mark and I had this conversation all the time. I'm confident that if we were going to drive to that stadium, that I could find it because I knew the path that we took. Okay. He thinks I'm nuts and that we wouldn't find it. So
I need a commentary track of that.
You guys are in Orange County. Let me know. I will go with you on this pizza place manhunt because I need to go.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out.
I know.
There is.
Film it and put it on Patreon.
we should, because I'll remember it. I remember very vividly, like the setup inside of the little strip that it was in.
Pizza USA?
A couple people are saying Pizza USA.
You guys have not been watching SEN.
Yep.
Pizza USA I used to bring up because Dagnino's from Brooklyn, right? He's Brooklyn, and then he moved to Jersey. But he or the Bronx, excuse me. He should know real pizza, right? So he comes to me and he's like, "Oh, you gotta try the place." And this is like since 2003. He used to say, "You got to try the place, Pizza USA." I was like, "There's no way that they would put USA in the title." It was like it would not be Pizza USA. Would not be a good place. Like Lombardi's, those, like that's the type of like Pizza USA. It sounds like it sounds all wrong. And then we had this whole thing about Pizza USA. And like he's like, what was really going on is there probably other businesses going back there. And like we had like this whole conversation, so that's why people are bringing up Pizza USA, Pizza USA as the Schmoebot would say.
All right, Brian. Before we get to our inevitable POV question, what's your final one?
I don't know if you can't answer this because of bias. That's totally fine. If you had to put prediction on who holds the belt at the end of the year, each belt, who do you think?
I'll give you front runners. I wouldn't say like.
Okay, that's fair.
I think Marisol has a chance. Kevin Smith has a chance for sure. But the front runners, Merle holding on to that belt is always a safe bet. Bateman's playing pretty nasty right now. Man, I would say either Bateman. See, it's hard to bet against Ethan too because Ethan's playing so nasty too. So any one of those guys, like it's either those of that little group. Plus, if like Horowitz runs through the tournament or Griffin Newman runs through the tournament, those are the ones. And Snyder too. So hard. I don't know. That's a hard one.
You named the whole entire division.
Whole There's all the ones. So singles is tough. IG, man. Right now, because they're playing each other, I would say the heavy favorites to be going into, well, obviously, Spectacular would be, well, the obvious favorite of going into Spectacular is either Mike or Chandra. Literally, whoever wins that match is Spectacular.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a fight. So no, Brian, I cannot answer this question. I don't think.
I'm interested in Star Wars because we've talked a lot about Star Wars. What about Star Wars?
Oh man, like
I feel like that's the hardest one, Jake.
You think?
I know that's the hardest one. I think
it's hard to not. I mean, shoot, man, because no matter, it's like you could say, well, same thing, Dimolanta or Laura, whoever wins is gonna. But then you're like, well, you got Harper like Jaws just swimming around the water there, like just waiting. I hate to say this because this is a definitive answer. I think Thomas Harper will be defending the championship at
I think so too.
And Dimolante is going to be pissed at me, and Laura Kelly. And I think both those players, either one of them could be champion and could put up a hell of a fight. There's something. He's got that look in his eye right now that I've seen, and the same look that Dimolante had when he played Alex. So I don't know. It's just I do feel like Harper will be holding on to that title, but I would not. If you told me that I was wrong and that either Kelly or Dimolante beat him, I wouldn't say that you're crazy for telling me.
Someone might have to disagree.
I'll get my time. Don't worry.
I said going into the defending. I haven't talked about the tournament because
that is true. That is true.
Hard to bet on. I'm sorry, Molly. Hard not to bet on Alex Damon to repeat because, no matter how many losses he's coming off of, I don't care who you are, you still got to be on your best game. Molly will, as much as this might be as much of a joke as if it's serious, Molly will have the intimidation factor on her side.
Oh, yeah.
Because the thing is just like, I don't want to lose an argument with my wife about like meatloaf. Certainly, like going into having a match with my wife, I'm going, do I really want to answer? but then again, if I don't, she's gonna know and be pissed. So I should. Well, it's like that.
It's a no-win situation.
No-win situation, but when you both and the fact that they both just know so much about Star Wars, but I just got. It's hard not to give Alex the edge of everything that he's done in the division.
The calamity of just Molly, Alex, Roxy, Kaiser, promo. Holy crap!
I know. Just the promo alone.
Yeah.
But if you went with my prediction, what you would have at Spectacular is Alex Damon versus Thomas Harper for the title.
Oh,
It's not
Molly's like, no.
right. So, but
Spectacular is just going to be amazing.
Yeah.
No matter what.
So look at any of those options, right? Spectacular. You get by going. Let's say it's either Thomas Harper, Laura Kelly, or Dimolante, right? Versus Molly Damon. Sign me up. Versus John Hoey, if he's in it, sign me up. Who would be from the Mercs? Probably Whiteley, right? So Whiteley, sign me up. Like there's so many people. It's like, okay, any one of those people in the Star Wars at the Spectacular, great. Same thing. Anybody who wins that Inner Geekdom tournament is going to have earned it. And is going to wind up either playing Mike or Chandru.
Yep.
So that's going to be something to see. The singles, all that. And then there's a match I'm working on for Spectacular that won't be a title match. Or probably won't be even, it will be something. But you guys will, people, that I will just say this. If I get this particular match for Spectacular, that match alone would sell the place out for Spectacular price.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we will wait to see what that is. We will end here with our question that we asked for all our guests because movies bring us together and was the inevitable or the start of the Schmoedown. We always ask a question here is what is your favorite movie snack and what is your favorite candy?
Pretzels with cheese, the pretzel nubs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the good ones where they have some, they don't really do it as much. They had like these little, Philadelphia has really good ones. When I went to, we saw Creed there. It was, and they had like the little pretzel nubs with the pump cheese, which is terrible for you, but it's really good. And Snickers is always my favorite candy.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
Easy enough. Have we ever had? Have we ever had?
I don't think we've had a Snickers yet.
With a nice cold glass of milk. But I also can't. Any of those things I just told you, I can't eat any of it anymore because as I've been describing it, I am almost medicine bad cholesterol level.
Almost medicine bad.
I think I saw in the Q&A you said your favorite snack right now is celery, and I was like, really?
Yeah. What? It's like, Brian, you got no idea. It's like, 9 o'clock. Here we go. It's like, yeah, I mean, rice today, for God's sake.
Since I turned 34, my favorite candy is Rolaids. Yeah, that's my favorite candy now.
Well, I just want to say to Kristian, thank you so much for spending time with us for the past hour and a half, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. To everyone who's been watching and sending the donations and the question. This has been awesome. You guys have asked some incredible questions. So we can't thank you all enough for spending the time with us for the last hour and a half or so. Just real quick, while we head out, Kristian, if you want to make sure everyone knows about the whole channel situation that's happening, that way everybody knows that's watching.
Yes. So we are trying. What I realized that there's so much content on the main channel, on the Schmoedown channel, that it's confusing for people. Like if you're a Schmoedown person, then you start seeing SEN Live and these other shows pop up. You're like, well, wait a minute, I signed up for trivia or vice versa, right? So we separated out. There's a new channel. It's just called SEN. You can actually still find it in the YouTube search if you type in Schmoedown Extras. It'll change over eventually. It's just the SEN channel. But you can find the Inner Geekdom show over there. You can find SEN Live every day, 10 to 12 o'clock. You can find the Sith Council show, which is on every Friday. The Sith Council show is in studio. We're looking to get IG back in studio and looking to get SEN back probably a little later. And then the big thing is still at the moment on the Schmoedown channel, but eventually as we start to grow out that other channel, that show will shift over there as well. So please go on over there. We're like, I think it's like 80 people away from 10,000. So.
Go ahead and check that out, guys. I will make sure for all of you watching the replay, that's all in the description. That'll all be added there. So again, thank you to everyone who's watching. Make sure you have a great Monday evening. We'll be back later this week for some reactions, and we'll catch you guys then.
Bye.
Bye, guys.